Hallelujah.
Right. Hi, everybody. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Moving to a new country to live or work can be both exciting. It can be a tough decision for some people, but when it comes to it comes with so many questions and uncertainties. So if you're a nurse or you have a friend who is a nurse thinking about moving to Australia, and you may be asking yourself, where do I start? What is required? Do I need NCLEX? Do I need sponsorship? All the whys in your hearts. How much do nurses earn in Australia? If you are like me back in 2019, where I had these exact questions in my mind and I was asking myself and searching for relocation pathways, then you're in the right place. That is one of the reasons why this year I started a Global Nurses Relocation series under Nurses Beyond Borders to create a one stop guide for fellow nurses who are in Africa and they're trying to understand the steps involved in relocating to different countries. So, welcome and welcome back again to my channel. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And thank you, Nosdale. This is Nosdale 7 a.m. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for accepting to be on my platform today, and I don't take it for granted. In today's session, we will be talking about relocation pathway for nurses who are considering moving to Australia. This conversation will just be to help nurses who are wondering how the process works, what requirements you need to meet, and what life and work in Australia looks like as a nurse. So, to help us break everything down, I am joined with Nurse Deo. She's an experienced nurse practicing in Australia and an experienced creator who talks about pathways and how to relocate to Australia. So, please stay with us till the end of this video because we will be discussing salary, sponsorship opportunities. Can you bring your family? What's the first few months like when you relocate to Australia? What does it look like for international nurses? I can see we have a few people on the live stream. So let us know in the comment section where you're joining from and let us know if you have started your process for Australia relocation. Again, Namaste, thank you again. Before we go deep, I'll have our guest introduce herself, tell us a little bit about her nursing journey and how she eventually relocated to Australia.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me, Nasisi. I really appreciate. Hi, guys. My name is Deo. I am a registered nurse currently practicing here in Australia. I moved to Australia in 2023 from the UK. I'm originally from Nigeria. Most of you can tell. And what else? Yeah, life has been good. What else do you want to know? Yeah, that's short story.
Okay, that's great because we have someone joining from the UK already in the comment section, joining from Nigeria. So that kind of balances it out because you have lived the experience. So we will just talk about, we will start up with the step by step pathway. So for nurses, Nasdeo, for nurses who are from like different parts of the world, categorized as international nurses or foreign trained nurses, can you please guide us how the general step by step pathway for international nurses relocation to Australia?
Okay, so nurses coming over to Australia, if you already have your license in your country, like you're a registered nurse in your country, the pathway is simple. You just have to do what we call a self-assessment check. So every nurse has to do that. Every nurse that is an overseas trained nurse has to do the self-assessment check. And you just basically put your information, your bio data, what year you graduated, your qualifications, like everything they ask, you just fill in, and it's automatic. It's gonna put you under different streams. So we've got the stream A, stream B. If you're under the stream A, you just go ahead to submit all your document. Like it's just a straightforward pathway. But if you're under stream B, you'd be required to take exams. So exams like the NCLEX, RN, you'd be required to take the OSCE exams, which is only done here in Australia. The NCLEX can be done in any Pearson View Center, but the OSCE is only done here in Australia, and you'll be required to most of the time take the English language test. So for the English language test, they accept either OET, PTE, IELTS, and TOEFL. They accept all those four, and Cambridge, I think they accept Cambridge as well. So yeah, so it just depends on the stream you are being placed on. Then you just follow through. Otherwise, if you are in stream A, it's pretty just straightforward.
So when you talk
Yeah.
about stream A, what categorizes stream A and stream B?
Usually is your country of training and country of practice.
Right.
So
Okay.
the body that is governing the nurses here, we are under APRA, and under APRA we've got the NMBA, which is Nursing and Midwifery Board of Australia, but that body is under APRA. So APRA classified nurses that have trained in the UK, in the US, in Canada, in I think New Zealand, in also one of the Ireland.
Okay.
Republic of Ireland, they classify them as their training is comparable to the training in Australia. So when you graduate from those countries, you have a license in those countries, you practice in those countries, you are deemed as similar practice to Australia. So they don't need you to go through all the stress of writing all the exams anymore. However, if you're not in this country, chances are you are likely going to be under stream B. But all the thing that I have to say is always just do your self-assessment check first, because everyone's situation is quite different. But if you are placed under, usually that's how you are being placed under, it's either stream A or stream B.
Okay. That makes sense. So
Yeah.
on what website do they go to do a self-assessment check?
On APRA, so it's like AHPRA APRA. So just APRA. If you just go on Google and type APRA.com or APRA.au, it will just come up on usually first two or first three.
Okay. At what stage should a nurse begin their AHPRA application? Because I get people sending messages or putting comments asking, "I just graduated. I just graduated. Can I start my relocation process?" So at what stage can they begin the application?
I think you can begin at any stage, but I would say begin when you are 100% ready. Um, Begin when you have the basic requirements. Begin when you feel confident. Because aside the fact that okay, you need to meet certain requirements, um, it's expensive. So you don't want to start when you don't have at least the first few money to start, like to get the ball rolling. Because you have to pay after the self-assessment check is free. The one they put you under A or B is free. But once you are being placed on the streams, any of the streams, you start committing to like money. You have to pay for the real assessment, because after the normal check you have to pay for the first assessment. You have to take it, if you are taking the exams you have to pay for all that. So imagine you starting the process and you don't have funds for that. And for new grads, you cannot just start if you graduated today. You need to have at least the minimum of 450 hours of experience, which technically is like if you do full time, it's like 3 to 4 months anyway. So it's not like a long
Oh
time.
my God. Okay.
But I would say for Australia process, people coming from stream B countries, the main thing is funds. It's very expensive. Like I said, you can't do the OSCE in Nigeria, for example. You have to come over to Australia. So you have to factor in flight fee, or accommodation, all visa fee, all those things. You have to factor in that. But for people in stream A countries, if you like, for let me use an example. If you finish your diploma in Nigeria and then you move over to Australia and you did your BSc top up in the UK, sorry, if you moved over to the UK, did your BSc top up in UK, and you've been in the UK, you have to have practice in the UK for 1,800 hours. Okay, 1,800 hours. So that 450 is people under stream B, people coming to do NCLEX, people coming to do OSCE.
Right.
Those are the people that need the 450 hours. But if you are coming from UK where you are using the stream A, so because you didn't like practically trained in the UK, but you've done a top up and you've practiced there, they need you to have practiced there for like 1,800 before they can successfully put you on that stream A. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to
That's
explain.
almost a year.
Yeah, 1,800 depends on how many hours you work per week. It's almost a year for people using stream A.
Hmm.
Okay, but if you have stream B, it's like 450 hours.
Okay. I do understand. So when you say top up, is it because the UK educational system for nurses doesn't cover all the aspects? Is that what you mean?
No, so because you did your first training in a stream B country. Do you understand?
Okay.
So, like, let me use myself as an example. I did my diploma in Nigeria, right?
Okay.
And if I moved from Nigeria the year I graduated and just moved to UK and I want to transfer, they will still put me on that stream B because I haven't one, I didn't school
The
in
original.
UK and
Mhm.
I've not practiced for 1,800 hours in the UK. So I cannot just jump and go over through to stream A. So you need to have practice. If you didn't like, if your first qualification is not in that country, you need to have practice like for 1,800 hours. I don't know.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm
That
explaining
makes
now?
sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So one other question would be: are diploma nurses accepted in Australia, or is it just bachelor's degree required?
So for that, I would say it is a very gray area. Gray in the sense that it all depends on who your assessor is. So let me just state it fact. Australia wants people that have a bachelor's of science in nursing, people that have a comparable education to a level 7. So here in Australia, our level 7 is a BSc equivalent. Okay. So Australia wants people that their level of education is level 7, which a BSc nurse will 100% qualify. However, with a diploma nurse, if you only just have your diploma, it's going to be very hard. Okay, it's going to be very hard. And if you have like, if you've done a post basic, like a midwifery top up, okay, or you've done like, let's say, peri op or any other post basic, and you try your application, you might scale through. Okay, they might accept it because you've done an additional study, which most of the like midwifery is 18 months, right? After
Mhm.
your after your
After your
RN,
RN.
it's 18 months. So if you calculate 3 years, like I'm using the old process. I know now RN is 4 years now in Nigeria. So I'm not, it might be now different, but it's still like you're coming out with HND. I mean, I don't want to go through all that, but let me use the old parts where we normally school for 3 years and
Yeah.
do a top up of 18 months. So if you calculate that, that's like 4 years and half, right?
Yeah.
Now that is like BSc because your BSc, yeah, BSc is like even for 3 to 4 years, people are done with their BSc. So if you have a top up of midwifery, they will, if your assessor is good, they will consider you an equivalent to level 7. But it's all luck, I would say, because I've seen people who applied and still didn't get it. So that's why you always do your own self-assessment and hopefully it works. But very, very hard if you're just using your 3 years equivalent. However, now that it's now 4 years that they give you 2 degrees, I think personally, I don't know anybody has done it because it's still a new process. The HND in nursing in Nigeria is still a
Mhm.
new process, so I don't know anyone that has successfully done it. But looking at their own equivalent of level 7, I think if you have the HND, it might be comparable to a BSc. So hopefully that helps.
Okay. Next question is: what English language? Because some people just joined. What English language tests are accepted for nursing registration in Australia?
So they accept IELTS academic, they accept OET, they accept PTE, they accept TOEFL, they accept Cambridge. These five are the ones they accept.
For IELTS, what's the overall band score that will be required?
So overall bound score of 7. However, you need to have a minimum of 777 in each band, but writing, you can have a minimum of 6.5.
Okay.
Mm.
All right, we'll move on to the next question, and that would be someone is asking, is there an age limit in Australia?
So how would I put it? For nursing, to become a nurse, no, I haven't seen anywhere that they say, oh, you must be 40 years or any. There is no age limit for nursing to become a nurse in Australia. However, where people have this age limit fear is your visa application. It has to do with immigration, so not nursing. So to become a nurse, there's no age limit as long as you meet the requirements.
Okay. Do international nurses need to write NCLEX in order to work in Australia?
Yeah, I think I've explained this.
Yeah. Then you mentioned OSCE earlier. Are you
Yeah.
able to explain what OSCE is, the stages of the process nurses are required to take for it?
So with the OSCE, is like a practical exam. You have to go through all the whole self-assessment check, and they will be the one to tell you to book your OSCE. You cannot just go directly to book it. It's when you pass through all the process, you finish your exams, they'll tell you when to book your OSCE. The process, that's the process to become OSCE ready. Um, yeah, you just have to meet their requirement because you cannot just go and book it. You have to go through the AHPRA process, and they will tell you when to book the exam. Because the exam, I think, is only written 3 or 4 times a year. It's not like
Oh, you can't
you
just
can't
prepare.
just book it like NCLEX, like any date or CBT. You can't book it. They only have one center, I think, in Adelaide, and you have to be booked for the exam.
Okay.
And they just have stations like where you come and do practicals, like show them your skills, depend on the one the assessor asks you to do. If it's IV skills, if it's BLS, different. They have different skills. Yeah.
Okay. When you say stations, how many?
I can't remember, but I think either 6 to 10. I think I can't remember the exact, but they have all this information on their website. They'll tell
Okay.
you how to prepare for it. There's practice materials and all that.
All right. So nurses, if once they have written the OSCE, or once they have completed their process and they need to write OSCE, my own question is, are they able to find employers to sponsor them to then go write the OSCE, or they have to find their way, write OSCE, go back to their country, search for employers?
So it's very hard to get an employer that wants to sponsor you for OSCE because of how the Australia process is structured. They already have nurses that do not want that don't write this OSCE exam. Okay, like people from the UK, people from the US, people from Canada, they don't need to write this OSCE exam. So before an employer will leave those people to come and yeah, but that's the truth. Before an employer will leave those people that are less burden for them to sponsor you that needs all this exam, you you need to be really exceptional or probably know someone that knows someone, just
But it's hard.
but
Yeah.
it's not like it's impossible. I'm not saying people don't do it. People do it, but like it's very rare, very, very rare. But they do have employers that are sponsoring nurses over, especially from people coming from these 6 countries. They will basically help you through the process of APRA registration, help you with your visa. Some of the employers have immigration lawyers that they work with to help with your visa. Some of them will pay for your visa. Some of them will pay for your test, all the tests you need to do. Like they will just pay for most things you need. Um, Help you with your accommodation to settle in your first few weeks to months here. And yeah, they are employers, but it's not like as easy as if you need OSCE or if you need NCLEX. It's not that easy, to be honest.
Okay. The next question is: once someone completes the required exams and registration process, OSCE and everything, how can they find jobs in Australia? Are they able to find jobs directly through the hospital, or they have to go through agency?
Okay, so you can go directly through the hospital. So like some people, they grow up wanting to work for a particular hospital. Like they know the hospital they want to work for. Like I want to work in John Hopkins Hospital. I want to work in uh, this hospital. So if you know the hospital you want to work in, you can easily go on their website. Most of the hospitals, they have career on their website. So under the career, you will see vacancies, or you will see job application opportunities. You can just submit your application there. Under the job, some of them also have international applicants, so they'll tell you if you can apply. They have emails as well. Um, so yeah, one of the ways to go directly to the hospital if you already know which hospital you want to work in. Another way is to use agency. If you want to spread your tent, you can use agency because agencies usually will have more than one hospital they work with, so they can easily send all your applications to. My voice is echoing. So they can send your application to various hospitals or facilities, and then you get one or two out of them. Otherwise, you can go on Seek. If you go on Seek, SEEK, seek.com.au, you can just filter it, put registered nurse, and on under the seek, you can just put visa sponsorship so that you can
Right.
see people that are already accepting international nurses, and you will see loads of jobs. You can also use indeed.com.au, the same process. You can use Jora, it's also the same process. But yeah, basically that's how you can get a job. And people also get jobs on LinkedIn. Like if you got a good profile, an employer might just see you and want
Reach out
to.
to you.
Yeah.
What is the average salary range for nurses, for new nurses in Australia, especially the newly qualified nurses?
So it depends on the state. Every state in Australia pays a bit different. But it would range for morning shifts because that's the basic pay. For morning shifts, to range from 35 to 41, 42, depending on the state per hour.
Okay.
And
And
then
as well,
you get penalty shift for PM shift, you get penalty shift for nights, you get penalty for um weekends and holiday.
the penalty shift, is it the same as like differential pay?
I think yeah, that's what people call it. Like you just get more for working odd hours.
Right.
Like
Okay.
like afternoon shift, you get more
Okay.
on top of your basic pay. So morning, usually morning shift is your basic pay. Then afternoon is like you get penalties for those hours.
All right. So you said morning shifts. What does the shift pattern like generally look like in Australia? Do you do like 8 hour, 10 hour, 12 hour shifts?
So majority of places here in Australia will do 8 hour shifts. However, there are still a very few facilities or hospitals that will do 12-hour shifts.
Okay.
And usually people in ED, ER, or people in ICU, intensive care, they would do 12 hours. But if you work in general wards, theaters, most of the time is 8 hours, 10 hours. Usually shifts will start around 7 to 3, or 3 to 11 in afternoon shift. Morning shift, some places will start usually 7, but very rare for you see 6:40, 5, 6:30, but usually around 7. But 8 hours is like the um
No.
most places will do 8 hours because they like work-life balance.
Right.
Mm.
Okay, that's not bad. I mean, is it the same as doing like 37.5 hours per week if you have to do those different shifts?
Mostly it's like 38 to 40, to come. Like, because they don't count your breaks. When you put your breaks is usually 30 minutes. Even when you do the 8 hour shift, you have 30 minutes break. So they don't count that break as part of your working hours.
I mean,
So
that's really.
technically, when you do 8 hours, you're doing 7.5. Okay, very much.
The thing is, people can actually have two jobs. In the morning, you go for one, and then later on, you go for the next one with that shift pattern.
If your body carries it. But usually, let me be honest, most people do. We have what we call double shift. So
Okay.
when you're booked for 7 to 3, and if they don't have enough to cover the afternoon shift, they can ask you, "Do you want to stay back?" And you can do 16 hours. Okay, so
Okay.
and depends on the department. Like if I work in theater, right? So sometimes I don't have to stay that whole 16 hours. So even if they don't have someone to cover the afternoon shift, I can stay till the case is over. So once the case is over, around 6 o'clock, even if I say I want to stay double, I can go home after that. So it just depends on the ward. But usually if you work in like medical wards, you of course you have to complete the shifts. It's not like theater where if case is over, I can go home. But in medical wards, aged care, you can complete the shift, or but depends on how you feel.
The last time I had short shifts like that was probably in Nigeria. Now
I mean,
because
to be honest, when I came, it was a bit, but right now, to be honest, I don't even know how I was surviving 12
12
hours.
hours, right?
I'm honest. Like, usually when I came, I was like, oh my God, so I have to be going to work. Because if you do the short shift, you have
You
to go to
go
work Monday
more
to
days.
Friday. Monday
Mhm.
to Friday. Like, not really Monday to Friday, but 5 days a week. Okay. Because of your hours. If you are doing full time anyway, because if you're not doing full time, you don't really have to worry about that. But by the time it's like 8 hours, I'm ready to go home. I'm tired. I don't want to continue. Well, in the UK, we used to do the 12 hours, and I was like, how did I
Yeah.
survive? Yeah, it's easy like looking at it, you think that it's too much work, but when you get used to the 8 hours, you just want to do 8 hours and go home. Honestly, yeah,
That's like really good because 12 hours. Mm-mm-mm.
yeah. Because then you have the whole day, you can do other things. If you run a business, you can go back to your business. If you want to rest, you like
You
your
have
whole day is not
childcare
gone. But
issues.
when I used to do 12 hours, like if when I come back, there's nothing I can do. Sometimes the next day I'm too tired. Like the 12 hours, nah, it's a lot.
That's beautiful.
Mhm.
Next question is: what are some states or cities for international nurses to consider when relocating? I know it's a tough
So,
question because some people are like, whatever, let's go.
oh yeah. What I would say is that it depends on you. See, what is best for me is not best for you. That's what people need to understand. Um, but the thing is, in Australia, we don't have loads of we only have few states. We don't have so much state. Like you in the US, people have like 50 states. We only have like 6 states and 2 territories, right? So it's easy to know where to go to. It's not too complicated. However, every state is different. Like some people prefer where it's warm, where it's cold. Some people prefer where it's mild. Some people prefer where the pay is the highest. Like I said, every state is different. So some people prefer where there's less crime. Some people prefer where there's less population. So every state is different. So you just have to check which one is your priority. If your priority is money, then you go to Northern Territory, or you go to Queensland, or you go to Canberra. Those are
And
the
let's
highest
say,
states.
well,
Um, if you want warm, if you want, everything is just different. So it just depends. But I would say where most Nigerians, not Nigeria, but where most, because we don't have so many Nigerians. I'll say where most Africans are, or where you find good jobs, like at the end of the day, you want a state where there's so many opportunities, right? But where you have a state with more opportunities, we are talking about Queensland, we're talking New South Wales, we're talking Victoria, and you can add pet sometimes, but it depends. But yeah, these are the states where, oh yeah, Tasmania as well have opportunity, but at the end of the day, it just depends on what you want, because yeah, it's some states are very isolated. Yeah.
okay, because you moved from the UK, but some nurses might be moving from Africa. What should their first few months relocating to Australia realistically? What should they expect?
You can expect anything.
Then,
You can cry the first few months, or you can laugh the first few months. Okay, so let me be honest. Realistically, your first few months depends on loads of factors. One, the most important one is the visa you're coming from. The visa you're coming with. If you're coming to Australia with a PRO, straight up, of course you are expecting a soft landing. Okay. If you're coming to Australia with a temporary visa, you might see anything. Okay. If you're coming to Australia with a job already, you have a job offer. Of course, soft landing, your employer would do your whole apartment hunting for you for the first meal. Like, everything will be ready for you. So that, of course, you won't cry those few months. But if you're the one coming, you're looking for everything yourself. Probably you don't even have a friend, you don't have anyone that will help you put you through. Of course, the first few months will be very tough for you. But in all, I would say it gets better. It gets better with time. You'll be fine. That's what I would say. You'll be fine. But just come with an open mind and research, research, research. That's what I would say. But always research, especially where you're going to, especially if you're signing a contract with an employer, research the area, research not just the place you're going to be working, you just research your area, like how good the area will be for you, and you'll be fine. Yeah.
all right, thank you for that. I'm just gonna go through. This is question and answer session. If you have any question, clarification, please drop them in the comment section. I will pin it on the video, and that way I can ask our guests. This one says, "What if you didn't school in any of those countries but work there? Can you be stream A?" No, we talked about it.
No, you can't be. That's what I was saying. No, you can't be in stream A if you didn't school but work there. If you work there for 1,800
800
hours,
hours,
yeah,
right?
you can't be in stream A. Okay, and usually if you've done like a top up, that's an added advantage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next question. This person says, I have a diploma in nursing and I have passed my NCLEX. I'm already 42 years. What is my best route to maximize my chances for AHPRA and PR?
Okay, let's start with the first one, which is for APRA. If you have a diploma and you have passed your NCLEX, I don't know which country you've practiced in, but if you've practiced in those 6 countries I've mentioned, you will likely be under stream A. So you should have a smooth transition. For your PR, I want to say I'm not an immigration agent or lawyer, so also do your research because it's not professional advice. I would say with 42, you are already 3 years to your, like, with Australia, the visa process, once you are 45, the chances of visa gets slimmer. Okay. So it's either you start now and get your PR before you are 45, or you look for an employer that does DAMA, DAMA. So they are able to sponsor up to 50 years old. So yeah, those are your chances. But definitely speak to a professional if you're looking for anything visa related, because I'm not one.
All right. Big shout out to Tosin for joining to support us there.
Hi, Tosin.
All right. This question says, if we do top up in the UK, are we still going to write NCLEX and other exams?
So that's what I was saying. No, if you've already practiced there for 1,800 hours, you should not be able to. You should be in stream A without writing those exams.
Okay. Chineye says, how do you go about visa process to ensure our visa is approved for OSCE? I have a friend who has applied for the visa twice to go write the OSCE exam but was denied.
Okay, so that is always left for the visa officer. No one knows what they're looking for. Um, I'm even immigration lawyers will tell you it's always 50-50. You might put everything right and still get denied. What if you're coming for OSCE? That's a good reason to enter the country, but Australia will need you to prove to them that you have enough reason to go back to your country after writing your exam. So my own is, if you have a good reason to go back, like you've got a family, you've got properties back home, you've got a job, you're on annual leave to go and write this exam, that's a good strong point. But like I said, it's always at the discretion of your consular to approve or disapprove your visa. So it's just like follow the right thing, but still you might still get denied. And don't blame yourself because Australia has one of the highest rates of visa denial. So it's tough out there, to be honest. Yeah.
What of IELTS general? Is he accepted in Australia?
I think it's academic. You can check their website, but for APRA, I think it's academic. I don't think they accept general.
Okay. Someone said that one needs to do a 6 months course after diploma in order to be placed in band or level 8. Do you have information on this?
Someone said that one needs to do a 6-month course after diploma in
Mhm.
order
In
to
order
be
to be
placed in
placed
band.
on a band or level 8. Can you explain if you have information?
I don't know about that, to be honest. I don't know what 6-month
What
course you
that
have to
means,
do.
right?
No.
Next question says, are they color sensitive like the UK nationals?
Mm. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that question. Anyway,
Good.
okay. Jokes apart, it all, I don't know how to explain it. Everybody's experience is different. Let's be honest. Um, if you read, you need to just read about the history of Australia, like the indigenous people of Australia. They have skin color similar to us, so it's not that, it's not that deep. Okay, like it's not that deep. People, I haven't really experienced anyone coming to look at me differently, or I mean, a few times they will look at your hair and say, oh, that hair is different and all that, but I don't really see or feel. And the thing is your mindset as well. If you go to work or you go to anywhere looking at people to look you differently, you will feel different. I haven't really experienced anything weird, and people I know have not experienced anything weird because of their color. One thing I would say is that Australia, the big cities in Australia, they are very diverse. Like you meet people from different. In fact, some places I've never heard of, I will see people here. So it all depends on also the location you go to. If you go to very remote area, oh yes, 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 you would find people staring at you or looking at you or asking you weird questions. But it's nothing. It's nothing serious. Something you can say, I'm not interested in your conversation, or you can just walk away. Nobody's your life is not at risk just because you look different. Let me just put it that way. But you have some people that are just inquisitive, want to find out some things from you if you look different. But it's not that deep.
Okay. If someone finishes their top up in the UK, is the OSCE and IELTS needed if the person has 1,800 hours worked?
I can't remember how many times I've answered this question today.
Yeah, we've talked about it. So you can actually check into previous like replay. Next question says, please, how do we go? She's talked about it. How do we go about the visa process if approved for OSCE?
I
We
think you,
talked about that one as well. We talked about it. Please, can you ask her about licensed practice nurse or if I can get a care job directly from Finland? I have an LPN certificate.
so if you have LPN, so equivalent of LPN, licensed practical nurse here in Australia, we call them enrolled nurses. Okay, so it might be comparable. I'm not sure of Finland, but in the US, the LPN are equivalent to ENs here, enrolled nurses here. So you can definitely try applying as an EN. Yeah.
Okay. How can I get sponsorship? I'm a registered nurse, perioperative nurse. Well, if you replay the video, there is a step-by-step guide. You will find an answer to that. All right, I'm just going through to see if I missed anything. Yes, can a 36-year-old registered nurse relocate? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
She mentioned it. All right, I think we've exhausted most of the questions. Not there. What did we miss?
Oh, I think we did justice to everything.
Everything, right?
Except people have other questions that we've not talked about. But I think yeah, we touched based on many things.
All right, I don't find any other question here. Um, okay, thank you so much, everyone, for joining the live stream today. This was Power Packed. Thank you again, Nosdale, for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. My community and I,
Thank
we
you
don't
so
take it for
much.
granted. If you You're welcome. If you found this video valuable, of course, or this live stream was helpful to you, please like this video. Go subscribe to Nosdale. She's very good at what she does.
Thank
Join her
you.
community. You will find more information. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So everything Australia, you will find. She's your one-stop relocation guide for nurses. Also, subscribe to this channel and share with other nurses who may be considering to relocate to Australia. In my next video or two, we'll continue with our Global Nurses Relocation Guide under Nurses Beyond Borders. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for joining this
Thank
video.
you so much for having me.
If you watched this video and your question was not answered, please feel free to drop your question in the comments section. Okay. I will add Nos there. She'll be able to respond to you. And yeah, we'll go from there. Again, thank you. I'll see you all in our next video. Bye for
Thank
now.
you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, y'all.